I'm the deputy chairman of the state of Illinois Black Panther Party, Fred Hampton.
They wanna kill me cause I'm black.
And a lot of people don't understand the Black Panther Party's relationship with white mother country radicals. A lot of people don't even understand that word that they're used a lot. We know they have our pictures, we know they're looking for us, we know they want us. We're not a racist organization because we understand that racism is an excuse used for capitalism. And we know that racism is just a byproduct of capitalism. Socialism is the people. You're afraid of yourself. If you're afraid of socialism, you're afraid of yourself. Now we say all power to all people. We say white power to white people. White power to white people. Brown power to brown people. Yellow power to yellow people. Black power to black people. X power to those that we left out. We say Panther power to the Vanguard Party.
Happy to see everybody back this computer up. So if you're hearing the sound of my voice, you made a special choice. You know what I'm saying? Chilling with the greatest, the future producers, the future millionaires, the Chordroom. Happy to be here. What's going on, bro?
Yes, sir.
How's everything?
Man, life in general.
Man,
it's going, man. It's another day, another week.
Life is great.
Yeah, life is good. You can't complain, man. Yeah. I can't complain, man. Like, I'm just a blessing. Life is a blessing. So we'll go with that.
You know why? First of all, we get an opportunity to let the world hear what we got to say, and people actually listen.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Man. That's a blessing.
Yeah, man. We doing what we like to do. You know what I'm saying? We got loved ones. Man, we got an album out.
Oh yeah.
By the homie Old Muggs. Like, we put our first album out.
That was a blessing. That was good.
Like, we got our first album out, man. Then we're gonna put another one out this year called the Renaissance Project.
Yes, sir.
Used by you, the Renaissance man, the terminology. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, shoot, we gonna be putting out, man, a lot of stuff. We got another podcast, the Collab, that's picking up. You know what I'm saying? We got, man, what else we got? I mean, we got a lot of stuff in the works, man. We doing it big. I see that my internet unstable. You can see.
Yeah. I hear you now, but you did freeze for a second.
We'll see what that look like. But yeah, we got so much going on. Like, we just getting started. So you know what I'm saying? We got merch coming. So y'all be on the lookout for that. We got, like I said, we got a couple of more podcasts, and you know what I'm saying, like, we producing all of this. So if you need, like, you know, if you're trying to do a podcast and you want to get your stuff out there, hit us up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wait, backtrack real quick, back to merch. Speaking of merch, man, big shout out to boys that earn your leisure, assets over liabilities. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. They doing it big. What they like, number one business podcast in the world. Wow, so, that's first time by owned by Black owners of business podcasts in the world. So that's big. That's great. Stuff. That's crazy. Power Black people, bro.
Black History Month. Well, Black History every day.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. But shout out to Earn Your Leisure, man. Appreciate it. That's a dope sweatshirt, by the way. So
thank you.
Definitely check them out, because they got a lot of good advice as far as financial wealth. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get us on the right track. So shout out to Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure, man. So listen, speaking of Black wealth and Black excellence, me and Trim had the pleasure of watching the new movie called Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yes, sir.
we about to get into that. Like that, that's the main topic today. We just gonna get into that. Just the, we're gonna get into the soundtrack and we're gonna get into the movie and just kind of just break it down, you know what I'm saying? Give our opinion on what, how we feel about the movie. So just to kind of set it off, I remember back in 1995.
Okay.
Well, first, before that, just understand, because we want to talk about the soundtrack right now. Understand that, like, nowadays, I don't know about y'all soundtracks nowadays.
What you mean? What you mean by
like,
the soundtrack nowadays?
Now, like, soundtracks don't see. Pardon me, because I'm an 80s baby, literally, 1980.
You dating yourself. Now you're dating yourself.
I don't care. I'm blessed to be alive. But I'm an 80s baby.
True.
Ain't nobody can listen. My gray hair ain't fooling nobody. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But understand, I come from the era of real soundtracks. Matter of fact, because even my mom, like back in the 60s, they had soundtracks, that. But my era, 90s, the 90s had some great movie soundtracks. I know what great movie soundtracks sound.
I'll give you that. I would definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah, because like Superfly to me, like I'm just saying, like, just kind of giving like a history of like soundtracks. I know like Superfly was a dope soundtrack back in the 70s, produced by I think that's Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, I think it is Curtis Mayfield.
Curtis Mayfield. Yeah. He did another one too with the Staple Sisters. I cannot think of it right now. Let's Do It Again came off that soundtrack, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But soundtrack, that was a dope soundtrack. But they had but the 90s, man, had some awesome soundtracks, like for real. Like now, to me, a soundtrack is when you hear you can hear the movie.
Yeah.
Like that you can really hear the movie in this soundtrack. Like you can tell that these songs were made for the soundtrack.
Yeah. Definitely brings an element to, what you seeing on the screen. And, it gives like, they go hand, in my opinion, they go hand in hand. Like, you can't have a good movie without a good soundtrack. I mean, they it's like all storytelling. In my book, it's all storytelling. They accompany each other. They help complete the whole vision of what was trying to be created in the first place.
Exactly, and but like I said, my era. So I don't necessarily. I'm not sitting now. Here's the thing. I'm not saying all of y'all are not making great soundtrack. Now, here's the difference. There's a difference between having a soundtrack with great movies, like with great music on it, and then a soundtrack that's tailor-made for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference. Like literally, they didn't go out there and solicit people to be like, hey, listen, I need you to write a song for this soundtrack. Well, let me rephrase that. They didn't go out there and say, like, just make a song. Like, just make a song. Like any song.
Yeah.
To make we were like, they were like, yo, listen, here's the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now go write a soundtrack for this, a particular scene. Like you got to go. You had like most people, from what I used to hear, they used to get like, it was certain scenes they might have saw that might hit them, like Waiting to Exhale soundtrack.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's actually the movie. That's actually the soundtrack that comes to mind when you talk about soundtracks and movies.
Man, like
shout out to Babyface.
Right, shout out to Babyface. That was a well put together soundtrack. Like
definitely,
almost the blueprint of all soundtracks. Almost.
Yeah, almost. Definitely, I would definitely. That's definitely. It's definitely up there. It's like in my book, it's like one of the top 5 for sure.
Right. So, those that's what I'm talking about. Like you take certain scenes and then make a whole song about it. So now really you can really understand why this song is in the movie, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So, I don't see that with y'all like right now. I see like perfect example, and this is my opinion. When you listen to the Blacks, now I don't know if this soundtrack, I believe that this was meant for the movie, or maybe it was just like maybe based off the movie or maybe inspired by the movie. But when you listen to the Black Panther soundtrack, remember Kendrick Lamar, Top Dog, they all did the Black Panther soundtrack?
Yes, sir.
It's
definitely.
Great music on that soundtrack. Off there, right? But it doesn't necessarily fit the movie.
So you're saying the Black Panther soundtrack, it was a great soundtrack, but it didn't necessarily fit the movie.
Right.
The music on there.
I don't feel like, now Kendrick Lamar has some joints on there that might have really fit the movie.
Kendrick, you don't forget The Weeknd.
Yeah, in The Weeknd. But some of the other songs didn't necessarily really fit. Like, it didn't sound like it was inspired by the movie, right?
Because the songs I heard, the ones that stood out to me was definitely the one that Weeknd did for it, and the one that Kendrick and SZA did, like All of the Stars. That definitely stood out to me on that soundtrack. That was like inspired by that movie. To me that, because you heard the elements where it's like the like part like the African drums and everything just beating into it, and just it felt like it was. The elements of the movie were bleeding into those particular two songs. I can recall off of that, and then there were some other joints on that soundtrack too. But I agree with you on the whole thing where the whole soundtrack didn't take me on a journey like as opposed like some other ones did.
Right. Now that's the thing. Like I'm talking like there are certain it's certain. I feel like there's certain elements to a soundtrack. If you're making a soundtrack, it gotta fit the movie. That's just my opinion.
It's got to.
They gotta fit the movie. Now, back in 1995, there was a movie that came out produced by Mario Van Peebles, Melvin Van Peebles, and Robert De Niro.
De Niro too?
And it was called Panther. Yep.
Did Robert De Niro produce Panther?
Robert De Niro produced Panther.
I did not know that. I know Van Peebles was all over that, but I did not know Robert De Niro was associated with that too.
Yep. Robert De Niro, that was one of his early production debuts. Like one of his early movies.
Shout out to Robert De Niro for sure. Shout out to Robert De Niro.
Robert got some black in him, hands down.
He was like, is he still married to? I don't know. Had a black wife.
And he has a Panther tattoo. I don't know why he has that Panther tattoo.
He does?
He has a Panther tattoo on his arm.
Did not know that.
He has
interesting.
From what I saw, it looked like a panther. And it looks like the panther. It looks like the Black Panther. It looks like the Black Panther. I'm just saying, y'all can draw your conclusions on that, or on what that means or whatever. But
that's crazy.
I couldn't get like a good view on what it looked like, but to me, it looks like the Panther tattoo of the Black Panther.
Okay.
But when I saw this movie, like I was inspired, man. Like this movie inspired me to, and I'm in New York. We learn about these, in my community, like Black Panthers, Malcolm X. These people are like naturally like in our neighborhoods. Like we learn about them, because most like in schools they're gonna teach you your Martins and your
every single Black History, every single year of Black History Month, they're gonna definitely, it's always gonna be said Martin Luther King, the Civil Rights Movement,
right,
and that's pretty much it. Oh, and Barack Obama.
Now, right? Barack is
now he's in there now. That's
right.
And to me, I think that's just where it starts and that's where it ends. That's right. It. They don't ever go any deeper than that.
Exactly. Now, you know, hey, like they are a part of Black history, but see, like the Panthers was on the FBI most wanted. Like they were, you know, that, you know, so they were considered to be terrorists of America.
Wow.
Right? So you're not gonna hear anything about the Panthers in your schools. Not then, not now. Right?
That's wild.
So in my neighborhood, that these are people that we talked about heavy. So to see the movie and just to see that, it inspired me and it made me, it really honestly added a part of my like to my DNA as you know, how I move in life, the pride that I have of being Black. Literally, this movie, you know, this particular movie and the soundtrack to this movie.
I remember that. I definitely
loved that soundtrack. Like the singing on there, like I think Blackstreet. Who else is on there?
I forgot.
Dang, it's a few. It's a lot of people in the. I want to say MC Light. It's a few. It was a lot. It was, you know, had a nice, but a lot of singing on there. A lot of great vocalists on that. And some rappers on there too. But whoever produced that did a really, really good job. But once again, Monica and Usher was on there. Monica and Usher was on there.
That's early in their career.
Exactly. This is early Usher. This is early Monica. This is like 1995. The movie came out May 3rd of 1995.
That was before Usher came back out with his whole revamp of his image with Jermaine Dupri and came out with My Way.
Oh yeah. That was like right after Diddy had Usher. But that time, you know what I'm saying? So but phenomenal soundtrack. There and it fit so well with the movie.
Yeah.
It fits so well with the movie. And the reason why I mentioned the soundtrack is because, you know, it kind of reminds me of the new movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. Like
how so?
Just it's the strategic album.
Explain that though.
So what I mean by strategic is like they picked, like you could tell that the people the way they wrote the songs, these songs were strategically like placed on here. Like I can't, it's kind of hard to explain, but you can tell it was like these certain songs are on purpose, you know, like they just wasn't just slapped on there. It was like from top to bottom.
I feel you on that. Because definitely when I was listening to the album and going through it, I could feel the elements for each song and how they contribute or how they related to the movie itself. Like like they had a lot of the cuts off the album were definitely centered toward, like, you know, messages related back to that movie. Definitely.
So what's your favorite movie on there?
You mean favorite cut off?
I'm sorry. Favorite song on there. My bad.
Favorite song. They had a few, man. I definitely, you know, I had to start off with my girl H.E.R. She set it off first on the first cut off the album, man. The first track off that. Well, besides the intro from Fred Hampton Jr., but she's the first song right after him, man. She sets it off, and she hits it up. I know everybody gonna say Jay-Z and damn, I'm having a brain fart.
Oh, he's got Jay-Z and Nipsey.
Yeah, Nip. Yeah, Nip. My bad, Nip. My bad. Brain fart, man. Long day. But yeah, I know everybody gonna say Jay-Z and Nip. It's gonna be one they cuts because that's what they playing on the radio and everything. Mm-hmm. But of course that was dope. Nas did a dope one with EPMD as well.
Oh, that was hard. That was hard.
That was pretty straight. Dude, like there was another one I forgot, but I gotta big up my girl Rhapsody and
Jid.
Rhapsody and Jid. They killed that.
Listen,
they killed that. I mean, it's like under the title of it for the group is that they group because that wasn't their names. They had it was a name for that cut. It didn't feature it didn't say their names. It said something else. So are they forming? Is that a group?
Hold up, let me see. Hold up,
because if that's a group, I mean, my ears are tuned in definitely. Like,
but it says it says featuring Jid, Rhapsody, and Masego. I think it's pronounced Masego.
Oh, okay. That's what I was like. Okay, probably.
Oh, that'd be a great group. Jid and
I thought that was a group because I all I just saw was Masito. That's all I saw on the listing where it said like as far as artists. I'm like, is this a group? I'm like, but they killed it on her album together.
Yeah, I forgot they had a song on the album. Cut? Yeah. Listen, hey, Rhapsody, Jid.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to put it together.
They killed it.
That would be a great. That would be the differences in flow, but the similarities in the flow. Man, that would be dope. That would be dope for the South to have.
I got to rewind it back though. Yeah, off the album that people felt to nominate her for best album that year. Just saying. Right. Best hip hop album of that year. Just FYI.
Anyway, we ain't relying on no Grammys, dog.
I'm just saying.
She got a BET award, and that's all she needs, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and of course she ain't get our award yet, so
right.
I'm just saying. So definitely, there was another cut that stood out to me, man. It was another one, but there was another one that stood out to me was from H.E.R. H.E.R. killed that song on there too. He was nice. I'm like, H.E.R. was real nice on that one.
Sir, teach me.
Yep, and then of course, you got the closeout from what's your boy name, man? Because I'm having brain farts today. I'm having brain farts. Rakim, yeah.
With Trim. There you go.
Was
Frozen too. So
I was Frozen too.
Yeah,
there we go. But yeah, like I said, Rakim closed it out real nice off that album. So he gave up. He not only did he deliver like a awesome track, but he also gave a history lesson in the midst of it. So that was on point.
That's what Rakim does. Long Island, y'all already know. Y'all already know. Wine Dance, what up? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That is the blueprint of hip hop right there. I don't care what y'all say.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Rakim.
Yeah, what about yours, man? What were your favorite cuts off of there?
You already know Rakim was one of my favorites.
We already know that.
My favorite. Let me see. I played the 4/5, the 4/5.
I remember that.
That was dope. Nas EPMD was dope. Like you said, H.E.R. Jid, I liked almost every song on this album, man. This was it's one of the. Let me tell you. So this is how I compare this soundtrack. Mm-hmm. You know how, like, you gotta now. Granted, I don't want anybody to slight or be like disrespected by what I'm saying about any of these artists on here because I'm not saying that. But you ever see a basketball team that they not like a bunch of superstars, but they play their position so well.
Yeah.
That it's not that there's stars on this team, is that the team is a star. It's like everybody who contributed to this project worked, like it works together. You know what I'm saying? It works. It's just a very cohesive project. Like everybody, it just works. Like everybody on this album is not a superstar currently, besides Jay. And I don't even think, Jay may not be considered a superstar in rap right now because he's on another scale. But these are not superstars, but they came together to make a superstar project. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a well put together project. So, but I like I said, those ones I mentioned, EPMD, Rock in the Black Messiah, White Dave was dope.
White Dave. Oh, also, man, my bad. Got to give out the shout to H.E.R. He came back with 2 tracks for that.
Yeah,
album.
he did.
So he definitely represented. Definitely.
So, but yeah, that is, I'm telling you, like, those are some of my favorites. But back to what I was saying about this being a strategic, like the way, strategically made. So if you notice on this album, everybody is from a place where the Panther chapters were. Now, Panther chapters were all over.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yep.
you had, now obviously you got and I'm gonna shout out to Lil Durk, BJ the Chicago Kid, G Herbo, Polo G, which he's kind of like a implant of Chicago. I don't think he's necessarily from Chicago, but I think he's an implant. Like, he just came. I think he might have went to college there, and then he just kind of stayed there. I think he kind of got discovered in Chicago. And then Bum J. Bum J is a Chicago legend. Like they know Bum J is is before Kanye, before all of them. Bum J is that dude. You know what I'm saying? And if you listen to, you'll hear Kanye talk about Bum J on the what's the name of that remix? Don't Like.
How'd that go?
Don't Like by dang, made me forget the kid name. It's been a long day for me too. Who made Don't Like?
Roll Within the Neighborhood,
Don't
man.
Like?
That's what work. That's what work is.
Don't Like. Don't.
Man, if I heard it, I'm pretty sure I get it. Now.
You know what I like when people say, yo, how did when they forget, then you forget. Chief Keef. Yeah. Okay. Don't like. So but yeah, Bum J. Back to Bum J. Bum J, legendary. Shout out to Bum J, man. But you got Chicago, then you got LA in there, which is where, not LA, but I'm sorry, California. Oakland is where the Panthers formed, right? So you got H.E.R. in there, you got H.E.R's in there, a lot of other California artists in there. Then you got New York, and New York had a chapter, was very heavy too. But can't forget about Nipsey. Nipsey, you know what I'm saying, is on there as well.
Yeah, Nipsey.
Which was very, I won't say weird, but eerie. Eerie is
what you mean?
When I heard his voice, I was kind of thrown off. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I knew, I was like, oh, okay. I saw it. It still was eerie to me to hear his voice, knowing that he's not going, knowing that I'm not, like, knowing when I turn this off, he's going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to see him. I'm not going to see him promoting the album or saying, yo, I did a song with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that would have been pretty dope. That would have been dope. I'm not going
to hear him say that, though, is what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be like, it's just whatever. But, so once again, going back to my strategic. So obviously, Nas is a part of, he's from the cloth of the Black Panthers. He whatever, when he speaks represents the Black Panthers. Okay. So once again, strategic. You got Rakim, definitely comes from that cloth of the Black Panthers.
I could definitely see that too.
Jay-Z, somebody who was born on the evening that Fred Hampton was assassinated. You know what I'm saying? This is what I mean by this. This is being a strategic album.
Yeah. Like
phenomenal, like crazy. Like whoever put it together was really wanting to make it so that way the Black Panther, like Fred Hampton's vision, was seen or heard on the soundtrack. Crazy, man. Like, I mean, I think that. What you think about the production on him? Did you?
The production, I like the production was nice, man. That was well put together, and I respect the production to the fact that like all you hear the elements of that movie throughout the music and the production of instruments through that soundtrack. You hear those elements. I mean, like even the song that H.E.R was singing on. I know I heard that song throughout pieces of the movie, but the sounds matched that time, and they gave that energy to what was going on in the movie, and I like that, man. I like when you have production that matches the energy, the elements of that of a movie, and it's like it goes hand in hand, and it's not just like you said before. It's not just people just saying, "Hey, I did a song for this soundtrack. Here you go." And it has no concept and connection to what's going on in the movie. Little side track, there was one artist that did a whole entire soundtrack of a movie, and it was all him, and it matched everything for the movie. Of course, we're talking about Batman with Prince. I mean, he did the 1980s Batman movie with Michael Keaton, did the whole entire soundtrack. But I had to pause on that. Tim Burton reached out to him and, of course, asked him directly to do it. He hooked it up. So stepping back to that. So, I have to give a shout out to Prince. But yeah, man, I like that. That was pretty good. That was definitely good.
Shout out to Semino. I think it's pronounced Semino. I think I never know how to pronounce it, but Simino. He's from Chicago too. I'm gonna say he's from Chicago.
And it goes also to the thing that you was talking about with the chapters. Of course, we know we got the Chicago chapter. Right. I'm pretty sure there was a Philadelphia chapter where you got Black Thought as well.
Yeah, I mean, but see, I feel like the other artists are cut from the thought patterns of Fred Hampton. You know what I'm saying? Like they're cut from that Black Panther cloth. When you hear them, They are revolutionaries in their own, own right in terms of like the way they rap. You know what I'm saying? You look at Jay-Z's 444, you look at Nas's Illmatic, you just hear Black Thought, just his raps, period. Like the roots are something that nobody's going to be, well, let me not say nobody, but there hasn't been anybody to duplicate what the roots are and do what they do and talk about what they talk about.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, that, but once again, they talk that Fred Hampton was talking. So that's what I think that those artists are placed there because they're cut from that same cloth. They're carrying on the traditions of what, Fred Hampton did through rap. But once again, just going back to strategic, so remember in the movie, Fred Hampton was he started the first Rainbow Coalition. They talked about that.
Yeah.
He was trying to unite gangs and the Black Panther Party.
That's crazy.
Right. And within that, you got white people, Spanish people, and Black people.
So I got a question, man. I got a question in that. So just on that fact alone, I go back and I think it's funny that at that time in history, how America deemed that as a terroristic threat and as a terroristic act. And yes, it was a threat, but what was their threat of it? How they viewed it?
Oh, that's the whole basis. They knew. Here's the thing. America knows if there's no racism, then and you unite the United States, like really unite the United States of America, that's going to be a problem.
Problem how so? And problem for who?
Because they're going to understand that they're going to see the power. They're going to see the power in being together. And when you got that power, when people understand when the people understand that the power is being together, understanding that they all have similarities, and they pretty much they can be the government their own selves if they form together.
So are you saying that like the big, like the powers that be, their biggest fear is losing power?
Of course. Confusion is always the best tool. Like confusion, confusion will, like, while we over here marching and doing all of this and killing each other and doing all of that, they over there doing something else. And
that's the thing that I think that we as a people, and I'm not just talking about us as Black people, I'm talking about us as people in general, all together. We need to be aware and focus on that. Because, yeah, you're right. While there's commotion going on here, something that's causing us to put our energy of wanting to march or something, there's always something else behind the curtain that's being done and that we are not aware of. And we need to, and I think that if we take the time to sit down, think about it, and give us some thought, and instead of just turning on one another and look at what's really going on, we could definitely, pay attention to some of the things that, that's not in the light that's being hid from us. We won't be so easily fooled by, pulling the wool over our eyes,
And see, that's what Fred Hampton was trying to do. And so when you talk about him trying to, well, let me say, not just Fred Hampton, but the Black Panthers in general,
exactly.
It was never power to the Black people. It was always power to the people.
You're right. That was the message that was always preached, was power to the people. Because you're right. It wasn't about, and see, that goes back to the detriment of the Black Panthers. Because, yeah, they were about people uniting.
Right.
It wasn't just the Black people.
Right.
They just so happened to be Black, right? They was spreading the message of unity, saying like,
exactly.
Power to the people. So that was the message.
So when you look at the soundtrack, you see that certain people that on the soundtrack are gang members. Certain people on the soundtrack. I respect the street fraternity side up. I'm not going to say who is associated. You can just assume for yourself. But a lot of them are related to these. They are in these gangs. You know what I'm saying? And that's on purpose, because that is what Fred Hampton was all about. Everybody was talking. Remember the movie was talking about how he was saying, "Man, you crazy? You talking about the Panthers and about getting this gang together?" He was like, "Yo, what? That they ain't gonna never guess that these gangsters will be politically connected."
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That was a wise strategic move,
right? And, and honestly, it's also him understanding that that's all he got. Like all he has is the people that's around him. And he understood, like, yo, once we get together, what else they gonna do? So, but like I said, like these are gang affiliated, people in this on the soundtrack. I mean, exactly. for real, like they still in it, but at the same time, they still rappers as well. You know what I'm saying? So, he put them in, but that, once again, that's just strategically, whoever put this together knew that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, but phenomenal soundtrack. I love it. I love the soundtrack, bro, because it's put together with a purpose.
And it's weird that, we're mentioning this soundtrack, and we were earlier just talking about the Black Panther soundtrack, because the connection between those two was you had Ryan Coogler, who was the director, and I'm pretty sure he was the producer of Black Panther. And in this project, he was one of the executive producers of this movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. So that's definitely the connection between that. Shout out to Ryan Coogler. He's definitely a brilliant director and a brilliant storyteller. Yeah. And but of course, just keep it a buck. He wasn't the director of this movie, though. That was shout out to Shaka King. Shout out to him. He was definitely a great director.
Yeah,
definitely great director.
But he brought him on the team to produce. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
He's always going to be associated with Black films. I believe that he's always going to be associated with, making iconic motion pictures for Black people.
That's a win for us. And I think with the success of Black Panther, that allowed him to have a seat at the table to get projects like that made. So that's a win for us. So, I mean, I definitely respect that.
Oh, also shout out to Hit Boy. Hit Boy. Now I like Hit Boy's song on here. Hit Boy song. Underrated. He can rap.
Oh yeah, Hit Boy's nice.
Hit Boy's nice. He had a dope. I think he's from LA too, though, right? I think Hit Boy's from LA. California.
Yeah, I think he is.
If I'm not mistaken. Hold up.
Because he had a song, and then I know I'm pretty sure he produced that EPMD song for Nas.
But yeah, shout out to D Brooks exclusive. I promise you, like, I don't think that nobody's going to be talking about the soundtrack. I honestly don't think, because I haven't heard anybody since it came out. I haven't heard nobody really talking about it.
I haven't heard either. Like, a lot of people are caught up with the idea about the movie and everything, and the story of Fred Hampton being told, which was definitely important and a must need. And it was a must have to have in this, in history, to be brought to light. But I mean, at the same time, since we are a folk music based podcast, and at the same time, just like you're right, what should be given light to is the soundtrack, because the music that went into helping to tell this story was phenomenal. I mean, it definitely captured the essence of the movie. Every single time every track I heard through on that album, I was getting the feel and the energy of that movie, and it helped to carry the message through. So that just goes to the energy and the work put in to making that a real memorable album to really go hand in hand with the movie. So I like that.
All right. Shout out to Fred Hampton Jr. I'm so glad to have you in the shadows and around, knowing that you're around. You know what I'm saying? Like still doing stuff, still behind the scenes, making things, making it uncomfortable for these people. Like I'm so glad that you're around, and it made me understand that there's still people around that are still trying to make it uncomfortable for these people. I think about this kid. It made me think about this kid I just read about in Texas that was arrested for walking in the middle of the street doing all of these, the snowstorm and everything going on. And he was arrested. So when he was arrested, it's snow on the ground. He's walking. He's about 18 years old, coming from his job at Walmart. And when you look at this video, you see these cops asking him, you okay? What's going on? You okay? He's like, yo, I'm just trying to get home. Mind you, his home is not too far from where he's going. Mm-hmm. So the way he is at that moment. So, he's like, no, I'm good. So it went from the cops saying that are you okay? Are you okay? We just worried, to them talking about an investigation that's going on, to them, putting handcuffs on him and arresting him from walking in the middle of a road. And then say that he was resisting arrest because he did, he's a nervous kid, 18 years old. In his lifetime, he's done seen so many people killed from the police.
That's got to be scary.
You understand what I'm saying? So they trying to hold him. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He hit her. He said he hit the cop. He was like, yo, I'm sorry. All I'm doing though is trying to get home. And then they arrest him, put him in jail, and arrested him from walking in the middle of the road or something like that, whatever the charge is.
See, and that's the thing. Like a real, if that kid was able to get like a real lawyer, if he's able to really get a real lawyer easily fight that. But I think that the fact that a part of the reason why stuff like that goes on is that these people that's getting arrested, they don't have the money to afford a real lawyer that's going to be able to fight these bogus charges like that. It's like usually I'm probably sure it's going to be like a whoever they can get, like a public defender or whatever, to fight these charges, because who do you know has money like that to be able to hire a real lawyer to come and fight these charges and say, hey, that's ridiculous and bogus.
And now I don't want to see no Ben, what's his name? Ben Crumpler, whatever his name is.
No.
I don't want, sir, stay home. Don't come. Don't go to Texas to try to beat. No.
Al Sharpton too. Stay home. Just Al Sharpton too. Stay home too.
Stay home. Somebody get him a real lawyer.
No disrespect. I just feel when I hear them or see them, I see the word opportunist.
Right.
Come flash across the screen.
But it made me think about just that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need people to protect him. Kids like that. Because you understand, he was only in jail for a night, but guess what? He went to jail.
But if you're really trying to do your job in this day and age, you know the history of what's going on in the news. You know that anybody that you encounter, especially anybody of that's of a dark skin color, you encounter, the moment to be able to, connect with that person, if you're trying to really help the people, is you got to know that they're gonna come from a place that they're scared. What's going on in the news right now? What's going on? What can you think that's possibly going in their mind? So if y'all knew that, you asked him if he's okay, he said he was okay, he said he's trying to get home, back away and let him do his thing.
Right, why are you
pushing the issue?
Yeah, because you talking about protecting the public. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, if you were trying to protect that kid, you know what you should have did? You should have put him in a car. If he wanted to go, like, listen, hey, guess what? I want to give you a ride up the street.
And in his mind state, he probably was too afraid to even accept it.
He probably would have took that. But my thing is the way it came across.
Exactly.
You wasn't trying to protect this kid.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And then he didn't feel that. He didn't feel protected. And you know what I'm saying? Like now he has this feeling. Listen, y'all. Y'all understand. There's no, like, one of the worst feelings of the world is getting handcuffs on your wrist.
I got a quick question, man. Have you ever encountered a situation like that where you've been put in handcuffs?
I wasn't put in handcuffs. I was just thrown in the back of a car. Really? And yeah, so one night, no. We didn't. That night, I'm thinking about we weren't putting back. We wasn't putting back in the car that night. But it was something similar to this, to where one night we were walking, me and my people, my homies, we was walking from a basketball game. It was real late. And, we were walking back to Hempstead. It's a pretty long walk back to Hempstead from Freeport. But, we used to troop it all the time. We probably get home by like an hour or two, something like that, just depending, cutting through the blocks and everything. But we were coming home. We were going home, and we stopped at the store. Like, we just stopped at the store. Yeah. So we all go inside, and we go buy something. Now, I went to the back to give me something, and I came back out. Everybody else had walked out. So I'm the last one of like 5 of us, I think it was, like, in the store. So I'm sitting there putting my stuff on the counter. Look outside. I see these cops outside. And I see my homies getting frisked and all of this. And I'm looking like, yo, I'm gonna sit here as long as I can until they leave. Right?
I would have done the same thing.
I'm sitting like, yo, like, so soon I'm looking, he's like,
really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I said, all right. So go outside. So this is another one of some of the worst feeling in the world when you got to put your hands on the wall and they got to pat you down. That's a violation of my space. Like, you know, just, you know, I don't that feeling. Listen, my pop's been in jail, so I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, even going into a jail, they frisk you. It's just an uncomfortable feeling. So when they pat me down, they turn me around, and they told me to look to my left. So I look to my left, and they shine to this day the brightest light I ever seen in my life in my face. Mind you, the car is far away.
Really?
And that light that was shining on my face, I couldn't see not one thing.
Wow.
And all I hear somebody in this distance say, no, that's not him.
Really?
So they come to me and say, well, you know, we were investigating a robbery at a gas station, and you guys fit the description.
What was the description? Being black?
Bruh. That's all it had to. It couldn't be nothing else. Because you couldn't. Here's the thing. I just told y'all. Mind you, this is nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
We went in the gas station. There was nobody behind us.
Wow.
I seen nobody. I promise you, we were walking, kicking it, laughing, you know, but in New York, we watch our surroundings at the same time we doing that. We watching our surroundings. We didn't see nobody. So I'm trying to figure out, I don't know. Maybe they seen us in a group, but there's no way that they seen us or seen our faces. We were just a group of black kids walking.
That's sad, man.
I was hot the whole time. The whole time when I was walking home, I was mad. I got to the crib. Like, I told my mom, I was so mad. Like
you felt victim. You felt villainized, right?
Yeah, like it was crazy. It was just one of the worst feelings, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've had plenty of other encounters with police. You know what I'm saying? It's so many. It's so many, it's ridiculous. Sometimes I just laugh at them. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, you know, that's what you do to clowns.
Yeah.
Just laugh.
Unfortunately, man, I should say, unfortunately, like, thank God I didn't have a chance to encounter any of that stuff, man, growing up. Like, that's a trip, man. I never, like, and my granddad, he was actually a deputy. When he was alive, but I never had a chance. I never experienced anything like that. So, but I can only imagine, like, just the thoughts that would be running through my head if I was put in a situation like that. I would definitely be afraid, and just, you know, the idea of somebody, you know, making you feel like you did something wrong when you didn't do anything wrong. That's gotta be like, you know, just boring through your mind and just driving you like insane. The fact that, you know, like, you know, but I didn't do anything wrong, so why am I being treated like a villain?
Right. I mean, but you know what? Honestly, I wasn't even scared.
Yeah.
You know why? Just going back to the Black Panther movie. Like, you can't. I've always had this thing in me where, and maybe it's just God, I don't know, but it ain't too much I'm scared of. I'll be mad before I be scared. But I'm gonna look at one thing that people don't like. One thing that people asked coming when I was growing up, people didn't like, is the way I looked at them, because there's no fear. There's no. It's like there's no talking. What we gonna do? That's right. All I want to know.
He was rowdy.
It's not. But it's not about that, because at a certain point in my life, I didn't like fighting.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fight, but at certain points in my life where you make, like, I had to fight, and that becomes morphs into something different. It morphs into like, okay, there's no, like, let's not beat around the bush. What we gonna do? We either gonna fight, you either gonna arrest me, or you gonna let me go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna throw me in the cell or what? Let's get this over with.
I feel you.
That was, but my thing is, my whole thought process always is whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, whatever's going to definitely happen, it's going to happen. So, I mean, only thing you should be able to know that, you got God on your side, and, he'll carry you through.
But that's also the thing, like, and I've always thought this way. It's like, I've come too far for anybody to stop me. Like, I've been through too much for you to be like, you gonna stop me? Nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you not, like, who you? Like, who are you? Like, you gonna stop me? Nah, I've been through too much. I've survived too much. That's the thing about, that's life, man. Like, when like, anybody who's young, you understand, like, God willing, you ain't have to go, you don't have to go through stuff. But when tribulation come, and it's gonna come. It's not all about, like, you can't lose yourself in the moment. It's all about, how do you survive this moment? If somebody dies, how are you going to survive this moment? Some people try to take the cheap way out and commit suicide. Nah, survival builds character, and it will allow you to build, like, it will give you something to build on top of. Like, you can, if you survive this, all right, I survived that. I survived this. Before you know it, you a different individual.
Yeah, I say trials and tribulations like that, it builds survival, but more importantly, man, it builds faith. I mean, and we all, as human beings in life, period, we're all going to go through something that's going to test our faith, and faith without works is dead. So you do everything that's coming your way, that's presented to you. It's a chance for you to build your faith. Every trial and tribulation, it's an opportunity to definitely build up faith, and faith without works is dead. So, I mean, I got test with my wife passing away. That's been my trial of just building up my faith, and just me being able to, rely my strength into God, and to turn everything toward Him, and just be like, a servant of whatever it is I'm going through, and just having to carry me through.
Man,
so definitely.
Yeah, I mean, like, you think about the Panthers, man. You think about, and we can like transition into the movie right now, because you think about the Panthers, you think about their trials, their tribulations.
Yeah,
they lost some great leaders,
unfortunately,
and some of them survived, and lived to tell the story. But Fred Hampton was one of those leaders, and you talk about, understand that whatever. There is always, in any situation where there is, trials and tribulations, always room to make those trials and tribulations something that's great within itself. Corona, this COVID, it's something inside of this situation that we're going through that can actually become something great.
Exactly.
God is the greatest at taking nothing and making it into something.
All praises to the Most High, to the Most Yah. All praises.
I mean, listen. He took dirt and made human beings. He just stunts like that. You know what I'm saying? And that,
yes, sir.
That's how life is, man. Like, you just gotta take nothing. We Black people, we do the same. You talk about Fred Hampton, man, and you talk about how long he was a part of the Black Panthers.
Yeah, refresh my memory. Like, how long was he a part of it? Because I know we know he died young, but
Right.
how long was he a part of the Black Panthers?
From what I understand, he was only a Black Panther for a year. He made that much of an impact in a year. From what I know, and from what I remember, I think he joined the Black Panthers in 1968. From what I remember, and
that's crazy, man.
There's just certain people that got it. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes there's at certain points you gotta step aside. And Fred Hampton, one of the people that they saw, and it was like, yo, like he got it. You know what I'm saying? He was charismatic. But just understand that Fred Hampton was also a part of the NAACP. So
it's part of the NAACP?
Right. He was a part of the NAACP when he was like 13, 14 as a young man. It says in 19, so they knew about Fred Hampton. From what I understand, according to his son, Fred Hampton was being investigated way before he became a Black Panther.
Crazy.
Way before he became a Black Panther. They were tapping his phones at like 14, 15 years old.
What was the reason for that?
He was a part, I guess, because he was a part of the NAACP.
That's crazy.
So I'm trying to figure out when he joined the Black. I want to say he joined in 1967 though. From what I understand, he was always been in the midst of that. So first, what did you think about the movie?
The movie was really real powerful. I should say real powerful. I've heard of Fred Hampton before this movie, but I never dwelled deep into his story or whatnot. And it was real interesting to see it all played out and told. I was glad that they did tell his story. And, I feel like there needs to be many more stories told from a lot of people that, that's lived through history like that. A lot of other stories of Black leaders that that still are unheard of right now, but definitely it was real interesting. But what the most interesting thing to me was throughout all of that, man, I was more interested into the end result of the informant that turned on him in the movie. I was more interested in his story. And in the end result of what took place after, everything during the course of his life, how it ended. He committed suicide. And right. I wonder what was going on in his mind in the process of committing suicide, or what led him to that. Did he feel that, that he turned on his people, or, what was the cause that led him up to doing that? But I mean, it was real interesting and powerful to see, man. Real interesting and powerful to see. And looking at it from a whole, I learned a lesson from it where, we are our own worst enemies, how I feel. The only thing that can really stop us is us. So what the FBI did was they took somebody that looked like us, turned him as an informant, placed him into a cause that was happening, and they wanted to tear it down from the inside by using one of us to bring it down. And I feel that, that's how they're destroying us today, is that they're using us and turning us against each other. And they're doing it in other other ways that's not so direct like that. Some of it is, some of it ain't. But I feel that, at the end of it, we're all still our own worst enemy. Yeah, I mean, when I see this movie, it's a tale of two people. It is. And I think deeply, but I also take some deep thoughts and I like kind of simplify it. And you got two type of people in this movie. You got one person who's willing to die for what they believe in and what they do. And then you got another person that's just trying to survive and stay out of jail and is willing to do what it takes to stay out of jail, right? And to save himself. Right, to save himself. First of all, this is, you can't, there's not enough that like this movie didn't even really scratch the surface of who Fred Hampton was. And
that's okay, because it really wasn't made for that. You know, it was made to tell a story of COINTELPRO and the FBI, you know, and what that was all about, you know, and their agenda to get rid of the Black Messiah. Now, here's the thing, because you got to understand, and a lot of people understand, like, the term Black Messiah comes from them, not us. Like, we're not saying that Fred Hampton was a Messiah. They called him a Black Messiah. Huh?
Why did they deem he was?
Well, that term, when I hear that term, what they're saying is we got to stop any Black person who leads people in a way where they will do anything they say to do. So the Black Messiahs it's so many of them, but they're just trying to stop the leaders. Malcolm X was considered the Black Messiah. Martin Luther King, all the Black Panthers, not just Fred Hampton, Bobby Seale, Huey P. Newton, Stokely Carmichael, the list can go on and on. These people were so charismatic and so ahead of their time when it came to forming a situation where all people could benefit from. Not just Black people, but if you was for the people, you can be a part of this. You can benefit from this.
Exactly.
You know, it was the best situation for this time, this time period. But you know, do you have the snitch? He was a snitch. He was a rat.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about, you know, we ain't talking about no Tekashi 6ix9ine, nothing like that.
Hey, you brought him up in this one this time.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I have to say this because you think that's a rat. No, this guy was a real rat. A war is going on against Black people. It's still going on. But this is evident that there's a war going on against Black people. And because you didn't want to go to jail, because you out there robbing other Black people, but you didn't want to go to jail and sit your happy behind down, you out here impersonating FBI agents. But you didn't want to go sit your behind down. You'd rather go stop one of the people who was trying to stop the war against your people. And you know this. You in the midst of it. You know what's going on, but you still decide to do it.
Exactly.
But anyway, back to the movie. I think that the movie, one thing what I loved about the movie is just understanding that how it made me realize how much of the Black Panther aura, the energy is still around. When he kept on saying the words that when he said, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution.
That was very powerful.
When you say that, it makes you really realize, like, it made me realize you got to do what you got to do with the time that you have. You know, Fred Hampton wasn't a Black Panther long, but he made do with the time he had. You know, he did what he had to do, you know, so that, you know, these are 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kid, you know?
Yeah, so young, man.
It just made me realize, like, you know, time you don't know when time won't stop for you. So you need to do what you got to do to try to, you know, make an impact.
Time ain't promised, man. Tomorrow's not promised. So you definitely got to take advantage of every single chance you get to do whatever it is that, you know, God has set you to do on this earth. So
right.
And us all being here, we all serve a purpose. We all have some purpose that God has worked in his plan that we should be fulfilling. So it's definitely that was definitely an interesting take on it as well.
Yeah,
something to see it to take out of his time here.
Right, and his energy is still here. Mm-hmm. Like, once again, you can kill him, but you can't kill the speeches he made.
You can't kill the you can't kill the impact he's made on people just from his time, his presence being here, and just, you know, the speeches that he said. So it's definitely something to attest for him, for the work he's done.
You know, I think about that part of the movie when he finally tells, you know, the mother of his child about the reason why he's willing to die for the people. Emmett Till.
Oh, yeah.
Emmett Till was one of the motivations of him doing what he did. This is a young kid that was killed, murdered.
Yep.
Didn't have any idea that one day his life would be something that would influence another person that would influence a whole entire nation.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, Fred Hampton is, you know, he definitely was something that, I mean, it's many people like him, you know, that were slain at early ages, young ages, you know. Martin, Malcolm, they still were young. They all started young.
They were in their 30s when they both passed, right?
They were like early 30s.
Yeah.
30s. You know? And my thing, but see, also what this movie made me realize also is the difference between a person who's willing to die for something and another person who's not. See, everybody in this world is not privileged enough to die for something. You imagine your course, your whole life is about dying for somebody, for someone else.
True.
I think about Jesus when I think about that. Like that's an honor.
Yeah.
That's an honor to want to die for somebody else.
It's very powerful too, man. Very powerful.
Yeah. Imagine that. Like he said it. He said, listen, I'm willing to die for the people. He said, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die, you know, eating no food or whatever he was saying. Like he know how he going to die. He going to die for the people. Imagine that feeling, bro.
I thought you were gonna follow it up with, your other famous speech.
But imagine that feeling, bro. Yeah. Knowing your responsibilities, knowing how you gonna die. Pockies always say a real person know when they're gonna die, and a real person gonna know how they're gonna die. Because, and what he means by that is that your focus, the way you think, what you're doing with your life, you already know how you're going to die, because you're going to be in position. You're going to put yourself in position to die for a cause. It's a great feeling knowing that, anybody can do this. This is not, if you embrace that, understand, like, one day I'm willing, this is something I'm willing to, like my family, I'm willing to die for that. Proudly.
That's nice, man. It's the being able to know what you will be willing to sacrifice for. That's definitely something that's to be respected and admired.
Yeah, you got, man. Come on, we all got to, man. Listen, brother, and that's the thing, man. Like that's what I admired about this movie. That side of Fred Hampton is knowing that he was willing to put it all on the line, young.
Yeah.
So much life. He could have been doing anything.
But he chose to represent a cause and, put some energy behind that to help it be something. So that was good. And to this movie, man, like just like you said earlier, like it didn't even begin to scratch the surface of what he did and who he was while he was here. But I agree, it was just a little taste just to give you like a dosage of who he was. I think it helped to plant the seed to where you want to know more about him. So it'll be really dope to see after this, the transition, to see somebody pick it up to make a mini series or tell the story more in depth of who Fred Hampton was. That'd be something I would love to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, if you go on like any streaming platform, you can actually listen to his speeches. He has a lot of speeches out there that you can listen to. But we talking about the seed, planting the seed. I believe this movie will plant the seed of a young man or woman who will do the same. that Fred Hampton did. He or she will do the same thing that Fred Hampton did.
So I have a question, man. Do you see like the movement and the movement of what Fred Hampton represented? Do you see that in any people that we have today? Like, do you see that in any leaders that we have today that has that same energy and that same message that Fred Hampton was representing? Do you see any of that in our people that's present and current today?
Tamika Mallory.
Definitely. I love to see the fact that it's like that we seeing some of our sisters out there that's standing up and representing something, standing for something to represent and being a representative of something too, something powerful like that too.
Yeah, Tamika is the closest.
Mm.
You know, the thing about it is, you know, a lot of these people they don't have any heart. The thing about it is that I think what it all boils down to is a lot of people who have too much to die for, or do not. They have a lot of things to where, you know, they don't want to put themselves in position to go out there and die. It's too many distractions, too much love of self, you know, and
self-preservation is self-preservation, man. It's just, I think it's another thing that is honestly is killing us, in my opinion. Like I think that's another secret weapon that's been planted into us to, you know, turn against us. It's another secret weapon that's been planted to help play out in us, because I think nowadays a lot of us are more caught up with just, you know, surviving and, you know, just trying to reach a goal where we're trying to, you know, preserve our way of life and you know, just our well-being, and not trying to stand up for something.
Right. I'm gonna tell you something crazy that I found out.
What's that?
I was looking at other stuff about Fred Hampton. First of all, shout out to Fred Hampton Jr. He's the chairman. He's great. He's a funny guy. Not funny, but I thought the story. So this thing he said was funny. He was like, so when what's his name? William O'Neill, is that his name? The guy died.
Yeah, William O'Neill. Yeah, Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, the rat. So him and his mom has this thing where they go, anybody who was against the Panthers or maybe, you know, or anything like that, they go to the funeral. They go to go pay their disrespects.
That's messed up. What do you mean by pay your disrespects? Explain that.
You know how everybody say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to pay my respect." No, they go to pay their disrespects. That's what he said they do, and it's not just with him. It's with anybody.
So they actually go in there and just, you know, make a fuss and say how they didn't like the person.
I don't know how that goes, but I don't know. But they go in there and pay their disrespects. So what he was saying was like, and this is the crazy part. When they went to his funeral, they looked in the casket and told him that wasn't him. The guy didn't look like him.
Really?
Allegedly, he had plastic surgery.
That's crazy.
Allegedly, he had plastic surgery.
Wait, rewind back. Who was this again?
The guy who snitched.
They saying he didn't look like him. It didn't look like him, and it was saying he had plastic surgery.
When they looked in that casket, he said that they was like, who is this? Because in their mind, I guess the first thing they thinking about is like, yo, he's not really dead, because that's not him.
Wow, that's crazy.
So he's like, yo, who's that? That's not him. Mind you, they know him.
They
basically grew up around. They grew up around each other. They know each other.
So I wonder, would he have plastic surgery for? Did he have plastic surgery just to try to hide himself, hide his identity?
Come on, FBI was getting him everything he wanted.
Yeah,
and they gave him that. You know, the envelope was like for $300, like $300 in there.
Really?
Yeah, something like that.
$300? Man, oh my goodness, that's something wow.
Like but you know, it it's like that part was crazy. Like that part was crazy about Like they think now, like I said, they say that he had plastic surgery.
Wow.
You know, but it's you know, the thing about it, you know, this whole thing reminds me of like how Pac was, and maybe this was the whole thing about the Black Panthers, you know, just really forming, trying to find form a multi-layered, like a real political party, you know, and Pac was within hip hop, he kind of had the same vision, you know, he kind of. All right, so keep it a G. Pac was related. He worked with some Crips.
You froze, man. You froze for a second.
You did too. But keep it a buck. You know, Pac was with some Crips in the beginning. Pac goes to the West Coast. Now he's embedded with the Bloods.
That's crazy how that works.
Maybe Pac was trying to merge the two. Maybe Pac was trying to, you know, build power. Maybe. I don't know. But it does remind me like that, you know, Pac has some plans of like community work. You know, he had plans to associate himself with a lot of political individuals, churches, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, it's one of them things where, you know, I believe that if given enough time, Pac would have, you know, been on that same path.
My question is this: would he have really been on that same path? Do you really believe so? That?
Yeah.
Only reason why I question that is that, you know, shout out, much respect to Pac. But I mean, like, there's so many other things that he could have stood up and represented and did on a positive note, as opposed to just turning on the last parts of his life toward creating a hip hop beef with Big. And the reason why, like, you know, like, I hold, like, you know, like, anybody who has a platform like that, they got a responsibility. And, you know, at that time, he was using that platform and that energy to promote something that was negative.
But Pac was only 25, dog.
I get you, man. I get you.
My thing is that. But 25, right?
Fred Hampton was 21.
First of all, Pac did a lot of positive.
Yes, he did. He did
a lot of, but you gotta understand, like, just like anybody placed in the position that he was placed in.
Meaning like meaning what? Like he had the platform to be that he was like the biggest rap artist of that time?
No,
what?
Meaning that he was broke.
Okay.
Meaning that he's put in jail.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't understand it. He was not really placed in jail. He's a Shakur.
Yeah.
Assata Shakur. Mutulu Shakur. These are people who were on the FBI most wanted list. Afeni Shakur on the FBI most wanted list. He's already a target. Right? So off the rip, Pac is already on somebody's most wanted list in the FBI. They already know he's a Shakur. Remember, Pac moms was arrested on conspiracy to rob a bank. Defended herself with Pac in her stomach and won the case. Pac is always Pac is always a Panther. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I say you can't take a 25-year-old kid, right, who's in the music business, who knows that beef sells. He's trying to get his money up, right? So
I hear you on that, man. I just whenever I just feel that, yes, that him understanding that, it just feels that when you take that route, I feel that you're selling your soul out for that, man.
He's already said himself. He already said he sold his soul. You understand? You gotta understand. he ain't no different than anybody else who sells their soul. Like,
no, he isn't. He isn't.
Said,
it felt like his was more televised than anything because of who he was, the platform.
He is Tupac Shakur, bro. I don't think anybody understands what a Shakur is. Like, you got to look up what that. Like, even having that last name, you was already in danger.
I agree with you.
Asada Shakur, look up Asada Shakur. Look up Asada Shakur. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they all may not be blood related, but they're all related. But Tulu Shakur, he's still locked up in jail. So, but understand, like, I can't sit here and take a kid. Like, I know how I was when I was 25, right? Pac was like some people say, he had so much fire in his bones. He was confused. All right, so I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine this. You go to jail for something you didn't do.
Granted, yes, that's a lot of pressure on anybody, man. I agree with you.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. I just said.
Yeah, that's just a tip.
You go to jail for something you didn't do, right? Yeah. Everybody calling you a rapist. Meanwhile, you done preach more black. You done uplifted more black women than any other rapper ever.
That's true.
Right? Then you go to jail. They lock you down for 23-1. Allegedly. They lock you down for 23 hours and you go out for 1 day. That would drive you crazy. Great. Then you in jail. You in jail, and these older people, 40, 50 years old, coming to you like, yo, Pac, what you want to do? I do whatever you want to do. Like, you're a leader. Like, they looking at you like you the leader. That's a lot of pressure, right? Then you are broke when your family depends on you. Then somebody comes to you and says, yo, I'm gonna get you out of jail. Pac is a very loyal guy. Nobody else came to Pac's aid but Suge Knight and whoever else. So you do what you gotta do. Like, all right, I'm gonna go ride with these people because they came and got me. But the other, I just got shot.
Yeah.
Not once, not twice, not 3, not 4, 5 times. I got shot in my head. I got shot in my groin. Come on, dog. This is all happening within a year, 2 years.
Feel you.
And then,
that's a lot, man.
So then the people that you thought were your friends, it feels like they turned on you. This is all the stuff that's happening in his head, bro. Like the people that you was with that night was upstairs, and you come and you thinking like you confused. Come on, like, but all the stuff happening, him getting accused of being raped, getting shot, and all of this stuff, and then who knows what happened in jail?
Yeah, there's some stories.
Who knows what the guards did to him in jail?
There's some ideas of what happened to him in jail. All I'm just saying, man, is that
what I'm trying to tell you though, this is Trim. Like, you can't. It's unfair. It's unfair to say, okay, well, he started the war. He didn't do that. The media
did, but he contributed to my thing is this: when it was going, when the media took it, he had a chance to take a side.
But you understand, he is a warrior. Like, he is a war. Like, when he see competition, see, this is the difference between Pac and everybody else.
Okay.
When he's in competition, he's going to be the rawest. He's going to be the most disrespectful you're going to ever see. Because
he was in competition with who? Big?
He was, in his mind, he was in competition with with everybody who was with Big, because he felt like Big turned on him. Now, here's the thing. The one thing I would say, once again, he's not perfect. But the one thing about Pac that I understood is that Pac was the type of person where if he was wrong, he ain't take it back.
And that right there is that's petty. And that's an ego thing. That's an ego thing.
But who's not like that? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't.
Everybody has their own things where they something a part of. We all not perfect, and we all have our own issues with our own personalities. But it's within ourselves to take a stance to be like, we know what our demons are. We have a choice to where are we going to fight against that, or are we going to give into it? In this situation, he gave into that. It was an ego and a pride thing. If he was wrong.
But he's only
I know.
24. Like I guess my question to you is
what's up?
How do you not look at this situation of a young man who been through all this trauma, right? And is trying to sell records, and he's trying to now keep in mind, he's only beefing with one guy, right? Mm-hmm. Which pretty much is he's beefing with everybody who's affiliated with this one guy, right? Yeah. He didn't turn into like to where, you know, Pac was like Big was going to get killed. Matter of fact, I remember plenty of interviews of Pac where he was saying, "Yo, I'm not even on that no more." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done with messing with Big. I'm done with that. I'm moving on. He was in transition to go back to what his fans love because he understood what was going on. He was like, yo, everybody's like, yo, Pac, listen, ain't nobody really like this. This whole thing is dying down to the point where nobody really likes it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think your fans want to hear you go back to what you was doing.
And granted, out of his whole career,
it's not fair to him the way because he didn't get a chance to transition and correct what he did, what was wrong. And they shot him.
And I respect, and I understand that. And granted, out of this whole entire history of his whole discography, there was only one album talking about that. Everything else is talking about he has other messages where he's uplifting and giving positive messages.
Even within those albums, there's still positive songs.
That's true. You know
what I'm saying? Like everybody, you know, they wonder why they call you B. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I think that's a positive song. Like he was just on the All Eyes on Me album. He was just trying to have fun. And honestly, there's no real dissing like that on that album.
There really isn't.
Only hit him up.
And that was that really on the album?
No, it was on the How Do You Want It single. When How Do You Want It came out with the single, that was like on like, you know, the B side of the.
That's true. That's true. All I'm just saying, man, like, I mean, granted, to his defense, he didn't get a chance to, you know, right the wrong that was done. And granted, most of his career, he has more stuff in his discography speaking positive vibes and upliftment than anything negative. And yes, and even with that year with that album coming out, you're right, there is more songs on there where, you know, he's talking about other things. He's not even talking about the actual beef or issue or whatever was going on. He even had East Coast people on there on that album with Method Man and Redman and all them. So definitely I respect that. All I'm just saying, man, is that I just wish even sooner, or like, you know, if he admitted something, if something was wrong and it was a mistake, that if he would go out and just, you know, own it and say, you know what, this was a mistake, and, you know, try to fix it in his lifetime before it ended.
He did. Before he died, he recorded that One Nation album for all the East Coast. It was none but him and East Coast people. I think it was like just none but East Coast people. The One Nation album, he was doing that. Like a lot of those, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like the media is the one.
And I agree with you. The media took it and ran with it because they saw the opportunity to say.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, no disrespect, but Vibe magazine did it. Vibe magazine was the main one they're the ones that started that coined that phrase, East Coast, West Coast beef.
Yes.
So, I mean, hey, you already know who the owner of Vibe Magazine was, which to me is even crazier because Quincy Jones is the owner of Vibe Magazine.
True.
And Pop was married to Quincy Jones' daughter.
That's true. Another interesting question, but this is definitely a time for another different topic, is to find out exactly, are the leaders that we have that we look up to, exactly who do they answer to is the question. Are they really for the cause that we think that they are, or is it not, or do they have their own separate agenda?
I mean,
but that's for another story. That's for another time.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Think about it. Everybody, everybody has an agenda.
Oh yeah, you just got to find out what agenda they are. And then some of the ones that think they're for one agenda is totally different. It's a totally different agenda that they're not even aware of, and it just goes all off subject that they're not even understanding who they are or what they represent really. Just saying. Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors out here.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, people like Fred Hampton, man, you can see the real in him. You know what I'm saying? And Fred Hampton is one of them people that I don't know. I don't think they make him like that no more, bro.
Think so either, man.
They make them like, and they might. I just don't think they do.
If they, I'm pretty sure there's some out there that are made like that. It's just they're not. I think it's far in between, and it's not. And the ones that they are, there's no light or attention shined upon them for the fact that that again, who controls the media? Like if it was something negative, they'll be all over it. If it's something positive, they're not gonna show that. They're not like the positive things that we got going on in our community. They're not going to talk about like the black kid who made advancements in chemistry with finding different cool ways or cool inventions like that, or somebody else is doing something positive, uplifting their community through other endeavors. They're not going.
I mean, it's not their job to.
It's not their job. It's not their job to. But I mean, well, I think it's the media's job to. Well,
they listen.
That's just wishful thinking on my end,
right? Because I mean, their job is. Media's job is to cause confusion and cause
listen to the people, the powers that be that's in charge of them, that's controlling it.
Their agenda is to cause confusion and to put images of things on there that will make people assume that one thing is one thing, but it's really not. So they doing their job. They're the reason why we do this.
Yeah.
So, they do their job, we do our job, and we keep it moving. That's why I don't watch the news.
Hey, I watch it for the weather sometimes to just see what's going on. But
that's what the weatherman got. That's the weather channel. Shout out to the black man who owned the weather channel. What's his name?
Byron Allen.
Byron Allen, yeah. Shout out to him. That's what the weather channel is for. I don't watch the news. They own the last time they be giving me track. Me and my my family watching the game shows. We big game show heads around here. And, when the game show go off, news come on, and we like I'm sitting there looking at the news, and I'm like, why am I watching this now? Like I get like kind of hypnotized, But whatever, man. But yes, but listen, Fred Hampton Jr. with Shaka King. Man, whoever else who was a part of this project, I thank you. Because you guys, they I believe this movie, and I don't see. I give it a but. I don't know if I just don't watch TV like that. I don't really hear people talking.
I don't either, man.
The movie.
You talking about the movie itself?
Yeah, I don't hear nobody talking about it like that. I mean, Maybe
you got some people. I mean, I'm pretty
I
sure
go on YouTube, not YouTube. Yes, like maybe, but I'm talking about like
news.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing out. I don't know because I don't watch too much TV like that. So maybe I'm
honestly, to be honest with you, I don't either. I don't have the time.
Oh, I got my shows, but I don't really watch it.
Well, I don't even got time to watch my shows. So period, I ain't got the time.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I'll be making the time. I'm a big Blacklist fan. I gotta watch the Blacklist. But anyway, man, listen. You got anything else to say to people before we get out of here? Because I know we're running this by ourselves now, so we ain't really got like no time limit, nothing like that. So, anything you said, that you gotta say to the people, man.
Good night. Good luck.
I would say this, man. I hope that whoever listens to the sound of my voice, man, I hope, one day, that you break out of social media. I feel like a lot of y'all social media zombies, man. Break out that trance. Get your own thoughts.
True.
Read a book. I'm not a big book reader, but find some books. Like I like autobiographies. Read about Malcolm X, man. Read about the Black Panther Party. Read Langston Hughes. And so many authors out there that you can read, man. We just don't rap, sing, man. We poets, revolutionaries. We jazz singers, jazz musicians, gospel singers. We inventors.
We're so much more.
Yeah, we shape the world, man. Y'all understand. Get some pride about yourself. Read some books. You'll get some pride if you read those books, man.
I will say this, since we still are in Black History while we're recording this, and probably the time when this airs, it's not going to be Black History no more. But the one thing I will say this, as far as for us as Black History, know who you are. For us as people, us as Black people, please know who you are. And what I mean by that is, connect. Me being spiritual, man, I always say connect back to, the Most High, to Yah. Definitely connect back with him and find out who you are and your purpose. And I would say start with there, and get an understanding of what your purpose is, and just who your identity is. Because for us, it's definitely been stripped away from us. And it's to be able to get it right on track. You got to know where you come from and who you are. So.
And I know it's COVID. Ain't nobody going to church right now, but understand, church isn't here.
Yeah, we are the church, man.
Like church is in your head and your heart and your body. You know what I'm saying? So just pick up a book and read, man. That's all, just do something, because this COVID it's a reset.
Yeah.
And with that, meaning when I say reset, I mean that it's some people when this is all, I guess everybody's comfortable to do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Some people mentally ain't gonna be the same. Some people spiritually ain't gonna be the same.
Yeah.
But you got to rebuild that. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely do.
But listen, it was a good conversation, man. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man.
Definitely like, subscribe, all of that. Go see the movie, support, you know what I'm saying? Support, young Black directors and writers, you know what I'm saying? The people who are part of this. Check out the collab. Check out Dark Ages by Old Mugs, produced by.
Check out What Are the Wine. Yeah, check it.
The Renaissance Man. What Are the Wine?
Yeah, What Are the Wine.
Man, we got a lot going on, man. Yeah,
even man, I'll even say this. Check out the funk era too, man. Shout out to shout out to Imp.
Yeah, shout out to Imp.
Man.
Yeah, check out the funk era. You know what I'm saying? Check out Black. Just support your own, man. We don't need support your own, man. You listen. Whatever, man. I can go on for days about this. Listen, it's Chordroom. We out.